Hi there, welcome to NBA World. Today we're going to be talking about the top 10 NBA players with tragic childhoods. If you like what you see, make sure you like and subscribe. Comment down below what you think about the video. This video is narrated by me. I am Abusive Edits on Twitter. And yeah, let's get into it. DWade, born in Chicago, Illinois, the three-time NBA champion had a really tough path to stardom, growing up without a father figure and his mother being an alcoholic, having to look up for him and his older sister. Eventually, Wade even had to move with his practically unknown father and three stepbrothers just to be able to walk out the door without being at risk of being gunned down in his former neighborhood. Struggling with bad grades and not being able to play as much as he wanted in college due to his lousy qualifications before becoming one of the best shooting guards in the history of the game. At the number 9 spot we have Chris Dunn. The recently acquired Chicago Bulls standout prospect point guard was one of the most exciting players to watch during his provided stint, eventually becoming the 5th overall pick in the 2016 NBA draft. Growing up without a father and a mother who was a criminal, without being able to get food without playing basketball, or to just merely steal it. His father found him after his mother took Chris and his older brother John away from him, rescuing both kids from that broken home and providing them with a roof and food on their plate. He went through all that and you see where he is now. McLemore sure isn't having the NBA career everybody expected out of him. As a youngster with a very impressive Kansas NCAA stint, struggling to find consistent playing time and not proving his worth despite having a lot of chance to do so in the early goings. He should be quite pleased considering how his life has turned around after really struggling during his childhood with several academic issues and harsh poverty, spending a lot of nights without anything to eat and having his older brother locked up on a maximum security facility. He got through it all and he's playing for the Kings now. Number 7, Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose had a very rough childhood growing up in the low neighborhoods of Chicago, spending his whole life without a father figure, with his mother having the tough task of taking him away from the dangerous Eaglewood streets. His three older brothers were also quite tough on him to make sure he became a disciplined young fella before becoming the league's youngest MVP several seasons ago and earning a huge paycheck at the end of every month. Number 6, Serge Ibaka. Before becoming the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year and one of the most dominant rim protectors of the early 2010s, the young Serge Ibaka grew up in Brazzaville, one of the worst and most dangerous cities of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Growing up among gunshots, smuggling, drug dealers, civil war, and crime, and no one knows what else, the African power forward was keen to get his family the hell out of there, working really hard on school and playing basketball to make his way into Spain and eventually the NBA. Number 5, Caron Butler. Caron Butler was pretty much doomed to a low-life way of living. Growing on the projects as a drug dealer at just the tender age of 11 years old in Wisconsin, one of the most dangerous towns in the nation, gladly basketball was a way out for the 2011 NBA champion that blossomed into one of the most reliable and consistent role players in the league during his prime, after being arrested over 14 times at the age of 15. Number 4, LeBron James. Before being one of the league's best players through history, the young LeBron James had a really tough life growing up in Arkin, Ohio. With his father abandoning him and his mother being just the age of 16 years old, nobody would ever expect this poor kid to become one of the world's greatest and most influential dominant athletes. His mother really struggled to find a steady job and was constantly being involved in toxic relationships with drunks and junkies. LeBron was finally able to escape that horrid reality when one of his mom's boyfriends gave him a basketball that completely turned his life around. Number 3, Allen Iverson. With his mom being just 15 years old when she gave birth to him, his father is on a life sentence and his stepfather is being a crack dealer. Iverson had one of the roughest childhoods you could ever expect, spending a lot of time in friends' houses due to a lack of food or guidance because he's practically being adopted by one of his trainers on his way to becoming one of the most talented football and basketball players in the nation. Some false accusations about him taking part in a brawl in a bowling alley forced Iverson to spend some time in jail before becoming the first overall pick and one of the most dominant and talented players the game has ever seen. Number 2, Stefan Jackson. Stefan Jackson was one of the most strong, fierce, and dominant NBA players during his prime, growing up as yet another son of a single mother in the streets of Texas before adopting a thug lifestyle and attitude that stayed with him until this day. In fact, reports state that Greg Popovich would actually told him to give up marijuana before signing him with the San Antonio Spurs. As the violent and hard-tempered guard, forward was quite violent against his rivals and he struggled with suspensions through his entire career. And finally at the number 1 spot, DJ Mbenga. I think that's how you say it. Also born in the Democratic Republics of Congo, DJ also had a really rough path to the NBA. Spending 17 years into his father's term with the local government got to an end, and the new administration was keen to imprison or kill pretty much everybody who had anything to do with their predecessors. So when the Civil War broke out, DJ was actually incarcerated for 9 months with a death sentence upon him despite not having committed a single crime until his older brother bribed the security guard to help him escape to Belgium. Something out of a Hollywood movie for sure. But hey, that's the top 10 list. If you guys liked what you saw, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. I'll see you guys soon, and have a great day.